All right, we are live, I think. This is the first time I have ever gone on StreamYard. This might have been a bad mistake. I don't know. Hopefully all of you are doing great tonight. I have my wine glass, and as promised, a glass of wine. I had to put some in a Starbucks, the old thing I used to use for, I don't know, coffee or water or something. I used to use this for, because I didn't want to deprive my wife of the entire bottle. Hi, Vicky. How you doing? So in terms of what I'm drinking tonight, honestly, I don't know. It's whatever my wife had in the refrigerator. So I'm here tonight to basically answer any questions people might have about the online business legal toolkit. As I mentioned at the very beginning, I am using StreamYard tonight. Previously, I've used Ecamm. Ecamm is, I found to be very difficult to use. StreamYard is much easier to use, so we'll see how that goes. I see Vicky is here, Carlos, Stefania is here. Cheers to you. Vicky says, I'm fine. I'm just in need of trying to start doing this. Insurance industry, awesome. Clayto's here. Hello. I'm guessing that a lot of the comments are going to be coming from YouTube. Elizabeth says hi. So I guess the first thing I'll just say is, how many people here? Maurice says hello. How many people here know what the online business legal toolkit is? Bernie 1976 says hi from Tampa, Florida. Just Sean says hello, everyone. So this is actually, I kind of like the StreamYard. If any of you have used this before, it's a really cool, slick platform. Jay says good evening. So yeah, this is going to be relatively informal. And basically, what I wanted to talk about tonight is my Stefania says, could you talk about it? Sure. Yes, what I want to do tonight is talk about the online business legal toolkit. And essentially what this is a course that I have created for online businesses, for course creators, for consultants, for affiliate marketers, bloggers, people that are doing social media, people that have YouTube channels. And I'm in the middle of a launch. Tonight is the last night, which is why I'm obviously going live for a Q&A. And essentially, this is a course that I've put over 300 entrepreneurs through since last year. And basically, it's comprised of video modules that basically teach you about my Lock It Down. I don't know if you can see it there somewhere. I don't think that is supposed to be a video light box that says Lock It Down, but it's my Lock It Down legal protection system. And the Lock It Down legal protection system is my four-pillar system that I've created that basically helps to get online entrepreneurs, like I said, course creators, coaches, consultants, bloggers, affiliate marketers, legally protected. And we start with your legal foundation. We talk about how to protect your online presence. We talk about the contracts that you're going to need in your business. And then we talk about keeping your intellectual property safe. So that's the general gist of what's in the course. And so then we have a number of modules. Each module is specific to one of those areas. And inside each of those modules, we have Jamie Hansey says, go Browns. Oh, let me show you something. So I was bummed that I couldn't, on these shelves, I wanted to put this helmet on the shelves, but it wouldn't fit. Go Browns. Anyway, so sorry, I got interrupted there. Not interrupted, but sidetracked. So basically, each of the modules goes through one of those areas of legally protecting your business. It's meant to be a toolkit that you can jump in and basically you can use it. If you want to start with the legal foundation, you can start there. If you want to start with trademarks and intellectual property, you can start there. It's completely up to you how you want to do that. And that's the system that I've developed. Now, as I was starting to say, inside each of those modules is checklists, what I call my intentional verification system, that's going to help you to walk through each of these legal areas and make sure that you've done everything you need to do to protect your business. The contracts that are included, we have all the contracts that you would need for an online business. Privacy policy that is compliant with the California Privacy Act and GDPR. We have a terms of use that you can use for your website. We have terms of sale if you're selling products online. We have independent contractor agreements. We have a DMCA notice. We have legal disclaimers galore. We have client contracts for one-to-one client contracts if you're doing freelancing or something like that. So there's a number of contracts. And actually, if you go to, give me a second here, see if I can figure out how to do this. If you want to know exactly what's included, hopefully you can see this. It's a little small, but this is the sales page. And let's see, does it include the contracts? I thought it did. Yeah, it kind of does, but not as much as I had thought. Anyway, so it's got all those contracts, it's got all the checklists, and then in addition to this is a special bonus for what I'm doing right now. It includes access to my Earn 1K online course that teaches you how to earn your first 1K online. It also includes a bonus with how to protect your website from scammers and copycats. And that's a tutorial. It also creates a bonus. We have a bonus lesson in there on, I'm losing my train of thought here. Let me see. I swear it's not the wine, not yet. So if you can see this, going down here, we have another bonus. We have a bonus training on the 10 avoidable mistakes that most online entrepreneurs make. Another one on how to keep your website safe from scammers and copycats, as I already mentioned. Then we also have 4 modules that include, each of these includes coaching calls from that are in the archive from last year, and from the first several launches we did of the course. And then as a bonus, a really cool bonus, probably the biggest bonus, you get access to our Facebook community, as well as you get access to 12 months of coaching calls, monthly coaching calls with me for no charge. And those, we're going to be switching those over soon to a $297 a month subscription service. But right now you get 12 months for free. So let me go through some of these questions. So that's basically what we're doing. If you're interested and you want to read more about the sales page, I know it didn't look that great on the screen, but here I will. So that's the website you can go to check it out, kind of CNN style. It's one of the cool things that StreamYard does that Ecamm does not do. Let me go back to the comments here. So as Stefania said, what kind of contracts does the toolkit include? I think I already mentioned those. Terms of service. It includes privacy policy, terms of sale. If you're selling courses online, it includes one-to-one client contracts, a DMCA takedown notice. It includes an independent contractor agreement, and all those type of things. Jay says, appreciate the valuable content you always drop. Thank you. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. So Clado says, should you get a virtual mail address prior to setting up your LLC, or can you amend it later? Thanks for all your information. Now, one thing I'm not going to, I might take a few questions, but I am not going to be going deep into legal questions tonight for two reasons. The first reason is that as a lawyer, I have to be very cognizant of the ethics rules. And if I don't have a client relationship with somebody, I have to be very careful about giving legal advice. Also, a lot of the questions that many of you are probably going to ask are included in the toolkit. And, but I can answer some general questions, some generic questions. And I think that this kind of falls into that category of a generic question that I can probably answer. So should you get a virtual mail address prior to setting up your LLC, or can you amend it later? You can amend it later. It does cost money to amend your address. It's not one of those things like when you want to change your address at the bank and you give them a new address. It's not like that. If you need to amend anything with regards to your LLC, you do need to pay a fee and file an amendment. So I typically recommend people start off with the address they're going to use, but you can change it later. Let's see. Stefania says, cool, thank you. What about contracts for people you hire for their image in videos or voice? So you could use the one-to-one client contract. If you're talking about like a model release, that's one of the ones that's on the list of contracts for me to create. I do not have it yet. Hold on a second. So I apologize for that last comment that got up there without me seeing that. So for Stefania's question, what about contracts for people you hire for their image in videos or voice? Like I said, we're in the process of adding more contracts. You will get access to every contract we add in addition to the current contracts. So yes, a model release is one of the ones that we will be adding to the toolkit as well. Stefani, you got a lot of questions. Does it apply for non-resident aliens like myself who want to open an LLC in any state, or are contracts specific to a specific state? That's a great question. The contracts are general in nature. They do not apply to any particular state. If I did that, they would have to apply to all. I would have to do a separate contract for every state. So they're all generic in nature. The way I'm able to do a course like this is by teaching general contract principles. I'm not teaching contract law for any specific state. And as always, each state is going to have their own rules, but there are a number of general contract principles that are applicable in all 50 states. And so that's how I handle that issue. In addition, trademark, copyrights, intellectual property, those things are all federal laws. The privacy policies are going to apply to everyone because, the internet is basically the entire country, if not the entire world. Does the toolkit have a privacy policy for tech-based service businesses? Yeah, I don't know that there's any distinction between a typical, I'm a little low here. Keep getting covered up by the comments. Give me a sec. There, is that a little better? Does it have a privacy policy for tech-based service businesses? There's no real distinction between tech-based and any other business that's doing business online. So I would say the privacy we have is going to work for pretty much every business that's doing business online. Let's see. Shayna. Oh, good to see you again. Shayna is one of my frequent live visitors. Checking in. Good to see you again. You are welcome, Stefania. I'm glad I can help. Vicky says, how can this help me if I'm just trying to start an insurance business, just marketing and website and getting registered with my state and IRS? Vicky, I don't know. You're trying to start an insurance business. Is that like an online business? If so, I will tell you that insurance is heavily regulated at the state level. So there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to need at the state level. But in terms of getting your website set up, getting your legal foundation set up, if you have a trademark or copyright, those type of things, intellectual property that you need to have protected, the toolkit can help you with all those things. But it doesn't have anything specific to insurance. NYC Black Honey says saying hello, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. So you're just an independent insurance broker. So you're probably working with, or maybe you can work with any number of brokerages, I'm guessing. And they're going to have contracts they're going to want you to use. But in terms of your own online presence, again, I don't know what the deal is that you have, what you're required to do, but you certainly are going to require a privacy policy. You're going to require terms of service for your website. If you're collecting leads, if you're running ads, anything like that, you're going to need that information. All that stuff's included in the toolkit. So anyway, so let me, what I'd like to do here, let me see if I can do this. See if this works out a little better. I do want to show you kind of behind the scenes and see if this, I think this might be a little better. Okay, that is a little better. Let's see. Okay, that's bigger than it was before, so great. So this is behind the scenes. So when you first sign up for the toolkit, you're going to get access to all 3 of these modules. Okay. You're going to get access to my group coaching calls, which are separated out into a separate module. As I mentioned before, this is going to become a standalone subscription product. And so I'm already starting to break this out because people that are that purchase the toolkit in future months, they're going to get the toolkit, but then if they want to add on the coaching calls, that's going to be an extra fee on a monthly basis. And the reason for that is we're putting a lot of time and effort into not only me preparing for those calls, but also I'm starting to get some guest lecturers in. So, for example, we've got an individual by the name of Michael King coming on this week to talk to our group. We had Rick Mulready talk to us in March, to our group in March. And so we're starting to do that. January and February, we did not have any special guests because this is a brand new thing that we're starting to do. And let's see here. How do I go back? So that's the group coaching calls. You'll get access to that. You'll get access to the online business legal toolkit, which starts with a welcome module. And then we have module 1, which is talking about your strong legal foundation. We have module 2 that goes into protecting your online properties. Module 3, which is the contracts for working with clients, vendors, and contractors. And then finally, module 4, keeping your IP safe, and then all the bonus materials as well. And so just so you understand how this works, I'll do a privacy policy because that's fairly short. Every template that we have included with the toolkit. And by the way, the market value of these templates that I provide are almost $2,000. If you invest in the toolkit, you'll be getting all those templates basically at 50% off. Before I go into that, Stefania says, is the European GDPR data protection thing something that the toolkit can help me and guide me? My online business will be fully online and global. Yes, the GDPR is included in our privacy policy. It's not something you need to do anything extra for. I'm going to show you how this works here. You go to the privacy policy. So first there's a video that shows how to use the template. This is one of the shorter templates. This is why I'm doing this one. Some of them are a little bit longer. But then you go in here and you type in the name of your business, XYZ company. Sorry, I'm not a great typer. What is your website address? Contact email. Go ahead and click continue. Let's say some people use Google Analytics, some people use Cookie Analytics, some people use AdWords or Facebook ads. Let's say you use Facebook ads and you're using Google Analytics. That's going to dump the required language for each of those services into the privacy policy. If you store customer data, let's say you use Dropbox, it's going to include the proper provision in there for Dropbox. Do you honor do not track signals on your website? If you don't know what that means, you can click on the little, if it's green, you can click on it and give you additional instructions. And it says, if you don't know what this means, then check no. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and check no because I don't know what that means. And then this is all the information. You can review that. And then you click continue. And you can go ahead and download that. And let me show you how this works here. So then you can open it up. And let me just open this up. Sorry, let me pull this up here. And it's going to pull this in, the privacy policy. And this is the document that you just created. You can see it says XYZ Company LLC. That's exactly what I typed in. It's going to put all the information in. All the information about third-party analytics, about Google Analytics, about retargeting. Again, more information on Google Analytics and Facebook custom audience. Sometimes you do need to enter some information here. If you do, it's typically highlighted to let you know that you need to put some, like a hyperlink, in this case, to a page to collect this information. Then down here, it's going to include, let's see, somebody asked about this. This is for our policy towards children. This is directed towards California's laws, and then more for residents of California. If you're from outside the US, European Union, GDPR, it's got all the information that you would need to have in here to make this compliant with GDPR as well. And so that's basically how that works. Then you can just basically take that document and you can copy and paste that directly into your website. That's how that works. Luca says, do you need an EID number to open a business bank account? I think what Luca's referring to is an EIN number. And typically, yes, you would need that. Yep. And there he says EIN. Yes, that's right. And Jay says, how and where can I get it? I actually need it tonight. If I'm asking questions you've already answered, please forgive me. I'm just juggling and working juggling work and 2 little ones. Jay, you and me both, although I've got 3 little ones, but they're not so little anymore. Yeah, there's a link here at the bottom. It should be down there. It says hawthornelaw.net/special. After you sign up, you will get immediate access to the toolkit. You'll be emailed. You'll receive a couple emails, one of which will be a link to the course is hosted on Teachable. I think, let's see here. Going back through this. So the course is hosted on Teachable. And so you'll get a link to sign up for a Teachable account if you don't already have one. If you do, you will just see the course show up in your Teachable account as one of your courses, and then you'll get access to this as well as the Earn Your First 1K online workshop. All right. How's that? That looks kind of cool. Now you can see me and you can see the course, which is awesome. Well, maybe if you don't want to see me. Although I did get a haircut today. I don't know if anybody you noticed, but I did get that. Stefani says, "Wow, this is really great work you've set up there. Thank you very much. It took a lot of time and effort, and I'm proud to share it with you." Vicky says, "So I can just stay as a sole proprietor, but I would love an EIN. Is it best to register with the IRS and do Schedule C or whatever the form is?" Vicky, we talk all about that in the toolkit. That's a loaded question that I can't really answer on the confines of this this live tonight. But that is a loaded question, and but we do talk about that. Let me show you how that works. Let me go back. So in the toolkit, if you go to module 1, setting a strong legal foundation, we've got right here, we've got a lecture on choosing the correct business entity for your online business. And then we have another one on how to file your business entity if you choose to file a business entity. And then we have another one on a walkthrough. This is me actually showing you exactly step by step how to go about doing what I said in the previous lecture. And then here we have a checklist that talks about all the different things that you need to look for and want in your business entity. So, and then there is another checklist we have on your 10-step entity formation checklist that goes through everything that you need to do to form your business entity. So before you even go to the Secretary of State's website where you're going to be filing this, you can walk through this 5-page checklist and fill out all the information that you'll need to do that. So we go through that quite in depth in the course. And then we include an operating agreement as well. Stefani says, "Funny how you need online courses to set up your own online courses." Yes. But you know what? When you need them, you need them. Like right now, there's a specific thing that my wife and I needed. We needed more information about on a personal level. And we looked all over. It was a very discreet niche. And we could only find one person who was talking about this niche. It was a husband and wife, and they had a course out there, and we purchased it today, and we've already dug our way through a little bit of it, but it's exactly what we were looking for. And sometimes when you find that course that's exactly what you're looking for, it goes great. So so in terms of how to sign up, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about who this is for and who this is not for. I'm going to share my screen again. And so this is, let me just see if I can make this a little bigger there. So this is the sales page that you'll get to, and you'll see on the bottom there is a ticker because this goes away in 4 hours and 30 minutes about. And you can, if I make this, can I do this? Yeah, you can actually hide this if it gets in the way. So basically you just click the button Enroll Now. and it takes you to the bottom of the page, and you just enter your name and information. If you want to pay in full and save 20% or almost $200, it's $997. If you want to make 3 monthly payments, you can do that. It's $397 for 3 months. So those are the two options. And then as a special bonus that I'm making available to people, for people that purchased off my webinar earlier this week, well, last week actually, we sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I offered a free strategy call for the first 10 people that signed up. And since that is gone, I'm offering a strategy call. It's normally $299 for a half hour. I'm offering it. If you purchase the toolkit tonight, you can also purchase a strategy call with me for an additional $199. So Vicky says, love it, great. And Antoine says, how much does it cost for a lawyer to draft terms of service documents? That's going to depend on the lawyer. Number one, I'll tell you, for us, like I said, you can purchase all of these templates and do them yourself for about $2,000. Or you get them all in this toolkit for half that cost. The other thing I will tell you is people hire me to, so as you can tell, my hourly rate here is about $299 is high, and that's because it's only a half hour. My hourly rate is lower than that. It's not $600 an hour, but let's say it's $450 an hour. I give people who sign up for my business maintenance plan 2 hours of attorney time, and I can draft those for you with that. But the business maintenance plan is the same cost as the toolkit. Just Sean says, I just signed up and I'm excited. Awesome. I'm excited to have you in the toolkit. And let's see here. Awesome. And you'll be getting an email shortly, so you can get right in here and dive right in. Stefania says, is the LLC operating agreement also automatically generated through the stepped form in the toolkit? That is the only document that is not, but we do have a video that explains exactly what you need to do to set it up. That's the only one that's not created through that document generation software, because I have not set it up for that yet. So that's the only document I haven't done that with. And that's because that was one of the first documents I included before I started doing things with the, sorry, I've had a little bit of wine, as I told people at the beginning. So sometimes I'm not thinking so straight. It's also hard to do these live things because you gotta deal with the technology, the questions, everything that's coming at you. Probably wasn't the best idea to have a glass of wine while I'm doing this, but I'm having fun anyway. So the LLC is the only one that is not included with the document generation software. But like I said, there is a video walkthrough of exactly what you need to do to get through that. Luke is asking, do you think that your website name should be the same as the name of your LLC? Actually, I don't. I think that you can choose whatever name you want for your LLC name. And I think that as you're setting up your business, it's going to be whatever your brand is going to be. And obviously that almost, goes beyond the scope of legal. Now we're talking about branding and marketing and SEO and all that type of stuff. So let's see. More questions. Do I need to have that document beforehand and file it when registering my LLC? It can be done later. No and no. You don't actually need it when you're registering your LLC. It's not going to get filed with the state. It's something that you keep for your records in the event that you ever get sued or an issue comes up. Like for people who were applying for the PPP loans last year and even earlier this year, you I'm sorry, I'm laughing at some of the comments that are coming through. I know my bank asked me for a copy of my operating agreement when I was requesting the PPP loan. So, I mean, you just need to have that document on hand because you never know when something's going to come up and you're going to need it. Stefania says, you're doing great. Thank you. I appreciate it. You deserve a little wine. You take on a lot. Cheers. I do. Hopefully, what's everyone else drinking? Hopefully I'm not the only one. I realize it's a Monday night, not typically a drinking night, but I've been in the process of trying to launch this course for the past 2 weeks. And so this is kind of the culmination of all of that coming together. So it's a night to celebrate. I only launch this course about once every month and a half or so, about every 6 weeks. So this is going to be the last time we're going to be launching again until probably middle to end of May. William says name is tied to brand, trademark, etc. Yeah, that's right. And and you can have your company name. It doesn't have to necessarily be the name that you brand or that you file your trademark application for. I was talking about Starbucks earlier. Starbucks, I'm almost positive, is trademarked. But, Frappuccino, I don't even know what, mocha latte, whatever, all these other beverages that with these made up names that they have, those are all trademarked too. So, do I just print it and keep it? No authorization needed from some official. Interesting. Yeah, no. It's a document you just keep with your files. William is drinking mint tea. Stefania is drinking water. Boo. Vicky is drinking beer. Go, Vicky. Maybe next time I'll have beer. Let's see. Lori says, sorry I came in late. I formed my LLC in February. Will this toolkit benefit me? Sure. It's for, it's for people at all stages of business. It's for people who are just getting started with their online business and haven't done anything. It's going to give you the strong legal foundation that you need to go forward with confidence. It's for people that may have been in business for 5 years and maybe they set up an LLC, but they haven't done anything else. There's a lot of people out there that think that just because they have an LLC, they've got all their legal ducks in a row, and that nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, the LLC is just one component of the legal protections that you need. That's why I have 4 pillars in my Lock It Down legal protection system that includes your legal foundation, which could include an LLC or a corporation or nothing at all. It also includes protecting your online presence. It also includes the contracts that you need. It also includes your intellectual property. So there's all sorts of components to protecting your online business. It's not just getting an LLC. That's a big misnomer. A lot of people think, oh, I formed my LLC. And then the other thing that I'll say about that is a lot of people form that LLC, but they don't do it the right way, or they make a lot of mistakes in the process. And so we talk about a lot of that in the course about, and actually I have, I'm not going to show it to you now, but I showed it to you earlier. There's a lesson on the avoidable mistakes that people make when setting up their business. And a lot of those are related to an LLC. And I realize I talk a lot about this on the YouTube channel, but on the YouTube channel, I talk kind of big picture. In the course, I go deeper and talk about a lot of these issues a lot deeper. And then in addition, you've got the group coaching calls where a lot of people will come on and ask me a lot of questions in the group coaching calls about, their LLC and if they've done it correctly and what do they need to do to make sure it gets filed and different things like that. And while I can't give individual legal advice on those group coaching calls, what I can do is I can talk in broad terms about what works for most situations, and the situations where those things might not work. So Stefania says, sorry for asking all these questions, trying to figure out what additional costs I might have apart from the toolkit and LLC opening costs. The Earn Your First 1K online we go in depth about those costs, and I show people how they can actually get their business started for less than $50. And I show the software and the tools and different things that they might need. I think that you can get a business started online very inexpensively these days. Things that would have cost, thousands and thousands of dollars, even 15 years ago, 16 years ago, you can do basically for nothing today. Like, I remember the first website I built for my law firm was back in 2005. And I think I spent like $4,000 on it. It was crappy. It was terrible. But, you could do that today for, $10 to register the domain name, maybe 30 or 40 bucks to get hosting, and less than 50 bucks, certainly. And then you can get a free WordPress template, and you could have a website going in, a couple of hours. I actually just started because I wanted to get up to date with the software and make sure I was still, I still understood how things are working. I recently started a new website. Haven't really done anything with it. But I wanted to see how long is this going to take in this day and age. I literally got the website up and running within a couple of hours and had, a blog post written. And what was interesting about that is that even today, like I remember 4 or 5 years ago, even like if you purchased a domain with like Namecheap, which is who I recommend, and then you wanted to switch your hosting over to SiteGround, who is also who I recommend. It may take 24 to 48 hours for that domain to propagate. It took like 10 minutes, which is ridiculously fast from where it used to be. So I'm sorry for the little tangent there. Vicky says shoes. Okay, cool. I'll go with shoes. William says, form the LLC and then piece the corporate veil and have no protection. Pierce, I think is what you mean. The toolkit has been amazing. Okay. I'm sorry, William. I've got like 300 students. I assume that you were a student, and I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that I think that's what you're saying there. So getting the toolkit still requires legwork, or do you set up all the needs for the folks, or it's just telling you legally what needs to be done? If you want to do it right, then definitely get it. The toolkit is a course. It is a DIY course, and you have to be the one doing the work. The toolkit, and I guess this is a good time to talk about who it is for and who it is not for. The toolkit is for people who are maybe just getting started up to maybe $10,000 a month in revenue, who don't have any legal protections in place, or maybe they do have legal protections in place, but they're not sure they're quite right. And they're sick of Googling around for answers to their questions. They want to make sure that they're getting it right. That's who it's for. And they understand that it does require some legwork on their end to do this the right way. And the trade-off for that is, instead of spending $5,000, $10,000 for a lawyer to do all this for you, and I know lawyers who charge, $5,000 for a startup package that includes an LLC and a couple contracts maybe, and that's about it, and an hour or two of their time. Instead of spending all that money, all that capital on that, you're going to do some of that work yourself. And that's who it's for. Who it is not for is people that sign up and think that I'm going to do it all for them, because I'm not going to do it all for you. Like I said, I've put over 300 students through the toolkit so far. And for $1,000, there's no way I could do all that work. I would absolutely zero way I could do that much work. And nor would it be financially, would it make sense for me to do that, because it would just be, I'd be taking on that many clients, and that when clients hire me, they typically pay me in the neighborhood of $1,000 to $2,000 a month, and I do ask for a 12-month commitment. So we're looking at a $12,000 to $24,000 commitment to hire my firm to work with you one-to-one. So the purpose of the toolkit is to bridge that gap between people who have nothing and don't want to spend all that money on a lawyer, and people who are actually generating some serious revenue in their business. Like I said, at least $10,000 a month or more, and are ready to hire a lawyer to help them with the legal aspects of their business. So Vicky says, I'm at a point where I need someone to do all this for me. The whole 9 yards set up. All I would have to do is run my business. It's trying to do all this yourself. I mean, that's why I've got the toolkit, is because it's got all the tutorials and the templates and the things that you need in the group coaching calls to walk you through the process. Now, if you're truly at a point where you're like, you know what, forget it, I have no interest in doing that myself, then no, the toolkit's not right for you. You need to hire a lawyer and understand that it's going to cost you a significant amount of money. And that's fine. And that's, just as long as you understand that. So I don't want to misrepresent who the toolkit is for and who it is not for. For people who are like, forget it, I don't want to do any part of this, I want to hand this off to another lawyer and hire them, I am more than happy. I am more than happy to help you. There's other lawyers that are more than happy to help you. And like I said, my retainer started $1,000 a month, and we asked for a 12-month commitment. Demetria says, I went through GoDaddy to purchase a domain, but it's been a nightmare. I'm trying to switch my domain provider so I can keep my domain name. That sounds like a good try. Yeah, I've used Namecheap. The reason I like Namecheap is because they don't try and upsell you a whole bunch of stuff. You just go in and sign up for the domain, and that's it. And then you switch your domain name servers over to SiteGround, and you're good. So that's why I like them. I do have a couple of my older domains at GoDaddy. I have not transferred them anywhere. But I typically, I have a lot of websites, between my law firms, between, this online business, between some of the personal websites I run. I've had some side hustles, e-commerce stores that I've run before. And so I have a lot of websites, and so I've used SiteGround. I use WP Engine as my main hosting that I use for my law firm and for Hawthorne Law. But they're really expensive. I think I spend like $70 a month for them now. If you think that's expensive, maybe you don't. I think that's expensive for hosting. And then I have a Bluehost account that I use that's like $300 a year. And then I have SiteGround is what I also use for some of my other websites. And that's, I don't know what the fee is for that. Namecheap or Cloudflare are good choices for domain. Yeah, I use Namecheap. I also go through Cloudflare as well. And that's free, actually, Cloudflare. It syncs up nicely. Robert says, hello, Robert. Vicky says, okay, appreciate it. I will get the toolkit. Better choice, I think. Hey, awesome. Would love to have you in it. Demetria says, thank you so much. I hope I'm saying your name right. You're welcome. Aaron says, I've started a social sports betting platform, but I need some help with the legality of it. Any advice? Also, what's the worst that can happen to me or the company? You're in what I would call a high risk, Aaron, a high risk business, because sports betting isn't legal everywhere, and it's heavily regulated, and you need to watch what you do. If I were you, the toolkit might help you with some basic foundational stuff, but ultimately more than likely you're going to need some help from a gambling lawyer. I don't even know if those are a thing. Probably, I don't know what states gambling is legal in. Obviously Nevada, other places on the Mississippi River, I think. You're going to probably need to have a lawyer to help you with that. let's see here. Stefania says W Engine is good. Cloudways is what I use. They're awesome. I've never heard of Cloudways. Jay says create. I forgot the TLD is offering 2 years of hosting. Oh, okay. I don't know who that is. Anyway, so yeah, so those are let me know what other questions you have. Would it be better to start an LLC before buying equipment for a business? This is one of those questions that I get asked a lot, and that I do my best to give. I mean, here's my basic answer to that question. It really depends on your personal situation. I hate to say it that way, but I have a lot of students in the toolkit who, and I've challenged them recently because they're so nervous about starting their online business without getting all the legal in order. And what I don't want you to do is worry so much about the legal that you don't take any action on your business, right? I think the legal is very important and it must be addressed. It's not something that you want to ignore. But at the same time, you got to move forward with your business at some point. You got to just say, you know what, we're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna try and get some sales. You got to get some cash flow going. Do all these things. So, in answer to your question, Jacob, I mean, it's not a bad thing to start your LLC before buying equipment for a business. If you have the money to fund the LLC and you want to do it, you can. Do you have to? No, that's really up to you. Lauren, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, as always. Is there a sector in online business that you believe should be stayed away from altogether? That's a great question. That is a great question. I've never gotten that question before. Wow. I mean, certainly, I think anything that's really high risk, and by high risk, I mean borderline illegal. I typically would stay away from. So, I know, obviously, like things like porn are incredibly lucrative for the people that do that. I think it's also dangerous and scary and heavily regulated, and I mean, that's something I would stay away from. Gambling. Somebody mentioned gambling. Unless you have a lot of money to put behind legal help, I probably would stay away from that. And betting and things of that sort. Yeah, God, I'll think about that. That's great. That would be a great topic for a video. In fact, I'm going to write that down. Just 5 things to stay away from, businesses to stay away from. Thank you so much for that question. That was awesome. All right. Lori says, is this toolkit specific to online business? Yes and no. That's another great question. Gosh, you guys are really getting me tonight. It is, I mean, it's the online business legal toolkit. So from that standpoint, yes, it is for online business. However, what I would say, let me just adjust here. I'm on a little stool, which is slightly uncomfortable. In fact, I think it's time to stand up. I think maybe that'll make me feel a little bit better. All right. That's too high. I got this new standing desk Go up a little more. I got this new standing desk from Fully. I love it. I'm going to be doing an office tour here to show you everything I've done. Is it specific to online business? I apologize if I kind of got off track there. I would say yes and no. It is the Online Business Legal Toolkit, which means it is specific to online business. However, the concepts that we teach are not unique to online business. You know, the legal foundational principles are not unique to online business. The contracts that we use in the course, the independent contractor agreement, the freelancer agreement, the one-to-one client contract, those are not unique to online business. In fact, those are probably completely unrelated to online business. But what a lot of people do is they get started as freelancers, get their clients online, but then they can use my contracts. The trademark information, not specific to online business. The only stuff that really is specific to online business is module 2, which is the which talks about how to protect your presence online. That's really the only stuff that's unique to online business. Lauren, super chat, says, I already set, thank you for the super chat. I already set up my LLC, poultry hatchery. I'm not making much yet. Would it be Toolkit be a waste of money, or how would it help my situation? I guess it depends if you've got an online presence and where you're getting your clients from. If it's word of mouth and you're going to farmers markets on the weekend, then it's probably not going to help you a whole lot. But if you've got a website and maybe you're trying to, if you try to branch out into, let's say, how to start a poultry hatchery, how to make a business out of that. Like I know, I forget the name of the guy. He was doing microgreens, and he was selling microgreens to local restaurants and things. And then what he did was he actually he transitioned into a how to build a microgreens business, which was his online business. So if you decide to transition into something like that, it definitely would be worth it to you, I think. All right, let's see. Shayna says, buy the tools you need and find out if you even like the business you're in. If it's profitable, make it a business. That's great advice, Shayna. Couldn't have said it better myself. Cheers. Chris says, I'm a full-time entrepreneur and would love to share your insight on my channel. What's the best contact for you? support@hawthornelaw.net. You can reach out to my VA. Alex says, virtually, I can do my own taxes. Should I be paying $900 a year for someone to help me? Well, I just hired an accountant to help me with my taxes and bookkeeping and strategy for $900 a month. So I've been doing my own taxes for 20 years. At some point, I think it doesn't make sense to do that anymore. And that just depends on where you're at with your business. So that's something to think about. I don't know. Oh, there you go, Vicky. Sector like marijuana sales, right? That would be one that would go into K-Shaws. So we got porn covered, we've got marijuana, we got gambling, all industries that I would not necessarily get into. Marijuana is not, I don't think, as bad as I mean, it's going to be regulated, and you're not going to be selling marijuana. I mean, unless you're selling marijuana on your website, that I think I would stay away from completely as a business, certainly. But I know lawyers who are cannabis lawyers who are doing very well. They're in California and other states that have legalized it, and it's a brand new business. And they've got clients that are trying to manage those laws and figure out what is appropriate and what's not. So Christopher says, hello, now just checking in. Good to see you, Christopher. Fishing YouTube, is that high risk? Fishing YouTube. Making magic fishing. I do not know. I don't think so. I don't know. Is there something about fishing that I'm not aware of? How do I protect my phishing YouTube channel? So, I don't know. Stefania says, do I get lifetime access to the toolkit content? That is a great question. I should have answered that before. Stefania, yes, you get lifetime access. The way it works is, again, I'm going to share my screen here. Give me a sec. So you get lifetime access to the toolkit itself and all the templates. So if, for example, if I update and add new templates to the toolkit that go into the toolkit, you'll get access to all of those. The coaching calls over here, you get 12 months of access. So what will happen is the coaching calls will all be put in here. And then after 12 months, you'll lose access to the coaching calls unless you sign up to continue on a monthly fee after that. And I likely will give some sort of discount to people who, like my original founding people, if they want to stay online. There's other people that have been grandfathered in that will get lifetime access to anything I did because they supported me way back when. But as we're starting to move into the next phase of this business, it'll be 12 months, and then it'll be, maybe a discounted rate per month after that to stay on. But in the very near future, all those coaching calls are going to be going away as a bonus, or maybe I'll be giving like 3 months coaching calls as a bonus, and then you'll have to stay on for $297 a month. But the one thing that is always going to happen is I am making the course a prerequisite for the coaching calls. So you can't purchase the coaching calls unless you've been through the course, because then people will get on the coaching calls and will ask a whole bunch of questions that are, most of which are probably going to be answered in the course. So that's why I'm going to be doing it that way. But yes, you will get lifetime access to the online business legal toolkit, and then you'll get 12 months access to the coaching calls. If that makes sense. Varik says, hi, I'm Cambodia, and I love you so much, brother. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Lori says, is there a deadline to get the toolkit? Yes, it shuts down, enrollment shuts down tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time, so in about 4 hours. And then it probably won't open again until middle to end of May. Taserling says, I'm making a clothing brand. I'm going to open it soon. Is there any advice you can give me? Thanks. Keep up with the good content. Yes. I probably would invest in the online business legal toolkit and follow the step-by-step process that I tell you to get your legal foundation in order, protect your online presence, get your contracts in order, and especially with a clothing brand, you're going to need probably an independent contractor agreement. You may also need contracts for the people who are manufacturing your clothes, and then you're probably going to want a trademark or intellectual property, or you're going to need to protect your intellectual property somehow with whatever type of brand you're developing. So the modules are going to be there to use and reuse if I need to, right? For example, to make a new privacy policy. Yes, absolutely. The reason I'm doing, and I thought this is a very intentional choice that we made, me with one of my consultants that I'm working with on this, and trying to figure out how we were going to offer this as a package. This was a very intentional choice. We thought about one of the scenarios on the table was we're going to make the toolkit itself open for 12 months and then shut down. And we ultimately decided, for exactly what Stefania is saying, we did not want to do that, because we wanted people to sign up and not feel like they had to use the toolkit within 12 months and then lose access. So it is lifetime access for the toolkit itself, which includes all of the templates. The other thing that I will show you, let me just pull it up here. And let me just pull it up before I share my screen. We have a very, very robust online community on Facebook. We're in the process of, I'm going to be changing this over to a different platform. Hold on a sec. So I'll share this with you. So this is the student center, and as you can see, we've got an event coming up this week with Michael King, who's going to be talking to us about setting up your business for financial success. Jen, my VA, has uploaded the coaching call for last month. Got some new members here posting some information. Chastity says that she just made $983 in the first month. Doing great. Let's see. We've been talking about what day to keep the coaching calls going, and then we have other questions in here. Like about S corporations and different things of that sort. So possibility of moving to another state. So we have a lot. It's a pretty active community that we have in there, and the reason why I have the Facebook community is because I want students to have a place where, since we're only doing coaching calls once a month, and then we have a subject matter expert for the second call of the month. Since we're doing it that way, I want to have a forum where people can go and ask questions if they can't wait for the coaching call at the end of the month, or maybe if they're going to miss the coaching call because it's at a time that doesn't work for them. Even though the replay is going to be available, and they can email their questions ahead of time that I'll answer on the call. Sometimes it's nice just to have a place where people can go and ask their questions. Jacob says, what legal documents should a podcast have if it is established as a business? Should I have an interview, sign a legal document, or have a verbal agreement that's recorded with audio, video? Yes, there are documents you should need. So just like I think somebody asked earlier about a model release too, and the other major contract that we're working on right now is a podcast release as well. Taserlink says, how much is the toolkit? It is, here is the enrollment page. I will show it. Give me a sec. So you just come to so you've got two options. It's either $997. You can save 20% or almost $200 by purchasing in one pay, or 3 monthly payments of $397. And that offer goes away tonight at midnight. And then also, if you wish, you can also add a 30-minute strategy call with me for $199, which is typically a $299. If you go to my website and wanted to sign up for it, it's a $299 thing. So you save an additional $100 by doing that. And you can do that regardless of if you sign up under the full pay or the 3-pay option. It doesn't matter. All right, let's see here. What other questions am I missing? You guys have had some great questions tonight. Really good questions. This has been a good discussion. I have an LL, I think you mean LLC, because that's in your name there, Bling My Blinds, which is a kind of a fun name. And my products are patented. Do I need a business license as well? And can that be a DBA? A business license is different than a DBA. A business license is something that you're going to get on a local level. And I honestly don't know the answer to that question, because you'll need to check with your local city, county, municipality, state to see what type of business license you need. A DBA is something completely different. Bling My Blind says, how much is the toolkit? Yes. So like I said, it's $997 or 3 payments of $397. You just go to the website that is scrolling along the bottom of the page. Hopefully you can all see that. It's hawthornelaw.net/special. Lauren says, I apologize if you already covered this. No apology necessary, but will the toolkit help me get my YouTube channel up and running even if I already have an LLC? Well, I don't cover, how to get a YouTube channel up and running, but we do talk about what you need to do to protect your online social media profile. So from that standpoint, yes, I guess. But if you already have an LLC, we have disclaimers that you can use to protect your channel. We have best practices that you can use to protect your channel. We have information on how to get a trademark to make sure that your channel is protected, all those type of things. Contracts that you can use. So like I have a video editor who works with me, and she has signed an independent contractor agreement, the same contractor agreement that I include in the checklist, or not in the checklist, in the toolkit is the one that she's signed. Obviously it's customized for her and you would need to customize it for you, but that's pretty easy to do with the materials I give you. How often is enrollment open for students? Yeah, like I said, we typically open every 4 to 6 weeks. The next time I have not scheduled yet, but it's probably going to be sometime towards the middle to end of May. How much does an LLC cost, and do I need one for clothing brand? Also, is an LLC a 1-year pay or monthly payment? We will set up. We have 2 options to get your LLCs in order. We can do it on a DIY. You can do it yourself, DIY, through our website at hawthornelaw.net. There's a link at the top to set up your LLC, and I think that's $199 if you do it yourself, and that's for the life of the LLC. But you have to manage it. You have to make sure it stays up and is running properly. Or we have an option where you can pay me to walk you through everything you need to know to keep your LLC, or to set your LLC up the right way, and I'll do that for you. And that's $497. That doesn't include the state fees, though. What kind of business entity do you recommend for an Amazon business reselling products? It depends on your situation. I don't have a blanket recommendation in mind for any particular business. It really depends on your personal situation, so I can't really answer that question. But I'd say that, with that being said, I'd say that LLCs will work for 95% of the businesses out there. They're very easy to use. They're flexible, and they allow you to take advantage of certain tax rules that will help you save some money on taxes once you get going and you start making some money. Lauren says, yay, I'm signing up. Awesome, Lauren. I am glad to have you. Can't wait to see you in the Facebook community. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. Should we go one more glass? It's been an hour and 15 minutes. I was really slow drinking that one, but I think that was the bigger one. I don't think I have that much left. So I'll go through one more glass of wine. I'll have one more. I'm not selfish. Cheers. Let's keep rolling. So, let's see. Stefania says, go for it. Yeah. I don't know if Stefania was telling go for it to Lauren for signing up, or for me for drinking another glass of wine, but regardless, we're having fun. I told you this is going to be a fun one. I think I put that in the description. All right. So, anyway, what other questions do you have about the toolkit? I'm happy. I'm an open book here. I'm happy to answer them. Because wine. Yeah, why not? Oh, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there. Oh, that's funny. That is funny stuff. Um, we love puns in my family. And just as an aside, and then I'm going to get to Jay Wall, who left me a super chat, which I really appreciate. Thank you so much. I'm going to get to that in just a second. If you haven't seen the show on Amazon, Ted Lasso, oh my God, that show is so funny. And the puns that he puts in that show are hilarious. Great show. It's on Apple TV, I think. I actually watched the series twice. Not because, I meant to watch it twice, but I watched it the first time and I tried to get my wife to watch it and she wasn't sure. And then she sat down about halfway through and was like, okay, I'll try one. She was rolling because we both love puns. Anyway, Jay Wall says how to fill out a W-9 for single member LLC, owner SSN, or biz EIN. How to fill out a hold on a second. W-9 for single member LLC. I'd have to look at the W-9. I think it would be the biz EIN, which a W-9. Are you filling out the W-9 to give to somebody who paid you, or are you filling out a W-9 to give to somebody that did service? It depends on which way you're going. Does that make sense? So you'd be filling out the W-9 to give to somebody who paid you, I think is the way it's working. And then they would use the W-9 to keep for their records. So yeah, that's going to be, if it was your business, it would be your business EIN number. If it is you personally that accepted the money. Yeah. And I apologize. I'm just going to leave it at that. Because I'm on my second glass of wine. What entities do I need to have protected and legit YouTube channel to eventually sell stuff with my channel online? I don't know. Making magic fishing. I do not know. Yes. Let's see. I'm investing in. I don't know what this means. Should I do the LLC first, or wait until my business brings in some money? Taser link. Yeah, that's the $1 million question, right? I think I've already answered that for you earlier in the live. It's really a matter of preference of where you're at with your business. I'm pretty sure we did answer that. Let's see. Yes, for someone who is paying me. So you're giving it to them. So yeah, if they're paying you as the business, Jay Wall, then the LLC is going to have your EIN number in it. If you have an EIN number, if they're paying you as an individual entity, then it's going to be your Social Security number. If that makes sense, I think that's right. I apologize if I was getting confused about that. All right. Chris says an LLC usually provides asset protection and doesn't save on taxes for a sole member. Oh, wait, I missed one. What's the reason she says that's not correct, Chris. Actually, it does provide asset protection. However, there are tax reasons to form an LLC that you make yourself. You get. There are certain tax strategies that you can use as an LLC that you cannot use as a sole member or a sole proprietor. No, I'm not, Dan. I'm just a little happy on life. All right. Hey, Jim, important legal question. Does a straw have one hole or two? Huh. Parviz, you were on the other night, weren't you? That is a great question. I'm going to go with one. You're welcome, Taserlink. I hope you have a great day too. Have I worked with Dixie Wrecked the... Okay. Sam, you're out of here, Sam. We're not going to be dealing with that on the live stream. Oh, all right. What other questions do people have about the toolkit? And no offensive jokes. We're not going to be dealing with that. Anything? Oh, yeah, I knew you sounded familiar. Yeah, Dusty's great, and that was a fun podcast to do. If those of you don't know what I'm talking about, Dusty Porter runs and it's blanking on me the name of the podcast. It is let's see, what is it called? You're probably going to comment on here before I even find it. The YouTube Creators Hub podcast is the one. Yeah, he's got the YouTube Creators Hub podcast. He interviews YouTubers about how they've started and built their YouTube channel. Yeah. Parviz just mentioned it there in the comment. And it's great. It's a great podcast. It's one of the first podcasts I started listening to when I was getting started on YouTube. That's right. You're the lawyer. Yes. Where are you located? Out of curiosity. All right. The comments have slowed down a bit. So let's see here. Los Angeles. Oh, okay. Do you know Jacob Sapochnik? I'm sure you do. You have to. He's down in San Diego, though. You are welcome, Bling My Blinds. I love that name. That's a really cool name. Yeah, Jacob. If you don't know Jacob, if you ever are if you need any immigration help for the United States, Jacob is great. And Parviz, if you're in Los Angeles, I would definitely, yeah, never met him in person, interact regularly on TikTok. Yeah, that sounds about right. Jacob is a great guy, salt of the earth. So I was out in San Diego I guess it was a year ago, October, because it was before the pandemic. I was out there for Clio conference. Clio is a case management program that I use in my law firm, and I was riding one of those scooters, and one of those like Lyft scooters, I think. And I was going down a hill, and the brakes weren't working, and I was about to cross street. This is about a block from Jacob's office because we had just had lunch, and I was headed back to the hotel, and it was like a 4-lane street, and it was either jump off the scooter or go through traffic, and I made the choice to jump off the scooter and slammed my face on the ground, and I still have scars on my hands, and fortunately I was okay. But Jacob and his office staff, they of course, that was the only place I knew to go, and I was like bleeding all over myself. They helped me out, and I could never be more grateful to him and his staff for helping me in a situation that could have been very bad. But fortunately, it was a lesson that I will never ride one of those scooters again. Anyway, but we're here talking about the Rob says, "Hey, bud. Hey, we're here talking about the Business Legal Toolkit. Thank you, Stefania. Would love to see you in when you're ready to move forward. We'll be here. Yeah, so we're here talking about the Business Legal Toolkit. It is obviously for sale right now for the next several hours, and then it shuts down tonight. And I appreciate Dana and Amaya, and Shannon for signing up. Thank you very much. But yeah, we're excited to get a new crop of students in this week, and like I said, we're going to be doing a call with Michael King on Thursday, who is a financial guru. He charges thousands of dollars for his group coaching, and he's going to be talking to our group. He knows a lot about how to get your business set up the right way financially from the very beginning. So just real quickly, what I'll do before I hop off the call is I'm going to go through again what is included with the course, who it's for, who it's not for those of you who missed that at the very beginning. Basically, the Online Business Legal Toolkit is a course that I've created to help bridge the gap for people between where they're worried entrepreneurs and want to become legally legit CEOs. Rob says, I'm in Texas. Do you offer assistance to us? Huge fan. I remember the video you edited out of the coffee debacle. The coffee debacle. I don't remember that one. But I trust that you know what you're talking about. Anyway, we help people go from worried entrepreneurs to legally legit CEOs using my Lock It Down legal protection system. And basically, the system is comprised of 4 components, 4 pillars, if you will. We help you get your legal foundation in order. We help you protect yourself with your online presence. We help you get your contracts in order, and we help you keep your intellectual property safe. And we do that in the toolkit. So the toolkit includes video tutorials, it includes checklists, it includes legal templates that you can put to use in your business. The market value of the templates alone, which was a major part of the initial launch of the toolkit and still is almost $2,000. And you get all of those templates as well as any additional templates that I add to the course moving forward. We talked tonight about a model release, about a podcast release. Those are things I'm working on right now. And you'll get access to all of that when you purchase the toolkit. In addition to that, you get the bonus tutorial on the 10 avoidable mistakes that every entrepreneur needs to should watch out for. You get the bonus workshop on how to keep your website safe from scammers and copycats, which includes some of the technology that I use that you should be using to actually keep people from copying your website. So, like, for example, if you go to my website, hawthornelaw.net, and you try to copy any of the information on my website, normally you can just right click and view source and copy whatever you want. You cannot do that on my website because of the technology that I use. In addition, there are other tools that I use to make sure that nobody is ripping off my intellectual property as well. And I teach you about all those in that workshop. And then in addition, as a bonus, you also get access to my Earn 1K workshop, where we teach you how to go from 0 to 1K with your business, talking about mindset issues, talking about how to find the right niche, how to find the right product, how to make your first sale and validate your product, and then talk about how to create your first sales funnel to start bringing in business online. We talk about all that in that course. And then in addition, you also get access to my to a free Facebook community where all my students can hang out, ask questions, and between coaching calls, which I'm going to get to in a second, between coaching calls, you can ask questions that might come up, for like right now, on a typical year, taxes would be due in a couple days. And we typically would field a lot of questions about that. But taxes this year are not due till May 17th. Tip, in case you did not know that. Hopefully you did. So we've got the Facebook community available to you. And then finally, and this is probably the biggest bonus because it's in and alone and of itself, like if this is probably worth more than the entire course, and it's a bonus that you get access to when you sign up today, because this is all going away at midnight tonight Eastern time, is the 12 months of free coaching calls. So every month I get on the phone, every month I get on a Zoom call with all my students, and we teach something that's going on that's timely. We might talk about a certain area of the toolkit. We might do hot seats. We might just do an Ask Me Anything where people ask me questions that are coming up. It just really depends. And so we do that at least once a month. I get on and talk to my students about what's going on, what issues they're having with the toolkit, and how I can help them. So all that is included. And you get 12 months access to the coaching calls. And then in addition, you get 12 months access to the, we bring on subject matter experts once a month. Last month we had on Rick Mulready. This month we're having on Michael King. This is the second time we're doing this. This is a new thing that we've just started. I've got some ideas of who I want to bring in the next couple months, and I've reached out to those people. So I think that's going to happen. I'm really excited about that. You were drinking coffee in one of your earlier videos, which sounds appropriate, and you almost spilled it. Never know when you're making a memory. You are great at what you do. Forgive my fanboy moment here. No problem, Rob. I appreciate it. It's what you can't see here because of the way my office is set up, but I've actually put a couch over here, and I'm installing. I've got to set up a coffee table. I've got to put it together. I got it from, I think Wayfair I got it from, so I have to put it together. And I'm going to be bringing back the coffee so we can do coffee time and have it on the table and do the thing. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, so all that is included in the toolkit for those of you that sign up tonight. And I'm happy to answer any questions in terms of who the toolkit is for and in terms of who the toolkit is not for. And we talked about this at the very beginning, but the people that the toolkit is for are people that understand that this is a DIY product. This is not you. This is not you hiring me to be your lawyer. This is me giving you all the information you need to be successful. Because what I really want to do is take people from having no legal protections in place and just starting out with their business to getting some legal protections in place so that as they grow and build their business, they have a solid legal foundation. And the reason why that's important is because right now, the only option really for people who are just starting out with business is to go and hire a lawyer for, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 for a starter package to set up their LLC and get their operating agreement and do, maybe get some other contracts in place. And you can do all that with the toolkit. So, who it is for is people that understand that and are willing to get their hands dirty and do some of the work themselves with my coaching and guidance and checklists and templates and tutorials and all those things. So, all right. What questions do people have? The questions have kind of slowed down a bit, which means I might be hopping off here soon. But I'm happy to keep going if you'd like me to. Who has a question? Anyone? And I do thank you for the people who left the super chats. I don't typically get a whole lot of super chats, but that was very kind of those of you that did leave those super chats. All right. Chris asks, does your affiliate offer toolkit offer an affiliate program? In other words, if you purchase the toolkit, can you become an affiliate? Yes, that's something we're actually actively working on right now. I just upgraded my account with Teachable so that we can offer that program. And we should be rolling that out here in the next several months. So if I need to get the toolkit to where it is where I'm not launching every single time. But once we get to that point, the toolkit will, or the affiliate program will be launched. So yes, that is something that is definitely in the works. Alex says, I do. I assume that means a question, but I don't see a question. But feel free to ask away. Will I need to pay an accountant for taxes if I just started one small person business? I mean, good question. That's really up to you. If you just started a small one-person business, you know, there's a book. Shoot, I'm gonna check and see if I can find it. Who wrote it? Great book. Let's see. It's called hold on a second. Thank you for paying our oh no, that's not it. I can't remember who wrote it. Oh, The Company of One by Paul Jarvis. So Paul Jarvis wrote this great book called The Company of One. And the general idea is that you can have $1 million business, even if it's just you. You don't need to, have 1 million people working for you to have $1 million business. And so the reason I bring that up for people like you, Alex, is, I don't know how complicated your business is. It can just be a small one-person business, but I typically recommend, unless you really know what you're doing, unless you've got an accounting background or a bookkeeping background, or you're especially good with numbers, or at least have taken an accounting course in college, that I would hire a bookkeeper at a minimum, and probably an accountant as well. You can get started with a company like bench.co for your bookkeeping needs, and they've kind of got a done for you service, and then you can pay an accountant to do your taxes for you. Or, like I said, if you're like me, I've been doing my taxes for 20 years, longer than that, by myself. Ever since I started doing my taxes, I did them myself. And I'm at a point in my business where it's complicated, number one, and there's decisions that need to be made that could potentially cost, me thousands of dollars in taxes if I make the wrong decision. So I think it's important to get that help. And they should, if they're a good accountant or a good bookkeeper, they're going to save you that money. So my brown faux wall background. Well, the brown faux wall background is in the other office. I still have it. I'm kind of phasing out the brown faux wall background. I might bring it back for like an anniversary edition or something. My bangs, I do not miss those bangs. I am so done with long hair. I was so happy to get my haircut today, although hopefully my barber's not listening. If I was not vaccinated, I would not have been comfortable in there. But that's why I waited. I'm vaccinated now. So Tax and Legal Playbook by Mark Kohler is a great book for small business folks trying to say, yeah, I actually have that book. Yeah, and it is a good book, and it's fairly well written. It's fairly simple to understand. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Anyway, I'm down to the end of my wine here, so What other questions do people have? I'm going to switch to water. If I can get the water open. There we go. All right. With me being in Texas, will your services still be readily available to me here? Understand things and laws change from state to state. Hence my question. Great question. I mean, it depends on what you're talking about in terms of services. The online business legal toolkit will work for anybody in any state. There's no state-specific law. There's no state-specific information in the toolkit. The only state-specific information that's in the toolkit is in the privacy policy with regard to California's Online Privacy Protection Act. There's nothing else that's state-specific in there. Everything is general contract principles. And even the independent contractor agreement that I include, I tell people you probably should check your state laws to make sure there's nothing in there that is going to be invalid in my contract agreement, because that is the one area that can change from state to state is independent contractors and how they're classified. So that is the one thing I do tell people to check on. But in terms of if you wanted to hire my firm for help, we really do 3 things if people hire me. We can set up LLCs in all 50 states. We can serve as registered agents in all 50 states. Excuse me. So that's the first thing we do is the LLCs and registered agents. We can serve as corporate counsel in all 50 states. And if it gets to an issue of state-specific law that we can't help you with, then for those clients that hire us to do that, and like I said, our retainers start at $1,000 a month for a 12-month commitment. We will hire local counsel for assistance if it's something that's outside the scope of what we can do. We do not get involved in the courts. We do not give advice on state-specific issues unless it's a state where we're licensed, which as of right now, is North Carolina and Florida. And then finally, the third thing that we do is trademark work, intellectual property work, and that's a federal practice area, so we can help clients in all 50 states for that. But for the toolkit itself, which there's a link down below, hawthornelaw.net/special, it's applicable to anyone who has an online business, I would say. Let's see. What other questions do people have about the toolkit specifically? Let's see here. Anything else? Going once, going twice? All right, well, here, I'm going to go ahead and post one more time. There's a link to get started. If that's something that you would like to do, we'd love to have you. Alex asks, what's my skincare routine? Oh, I've just been blessed with beautiful skin. That's all it is. No routine. Just kidding. Gosh. Rob asks, when will I go live again, my friend? Probably Friday. I'm looking to start doing Facebook lives not Facebook, YouTube lives every Friday. Going forward, Chris says, does the toolkit include an operating agreement? Yes, it does. It does. So the, let's see here. Can I do this? Yeah, so it shuts down tonight at 11:59. We would love to see you in here. If you haven't seen the webinar that I did a week ago Thursday, I think you can still go to, let me just check. I don't know if it's still available because, hold on. I know it was available when I started the recording tonight. Let me just see if it's available now. Yeah, so you can go to hawthornelaw.net/training, and it'll ask you to sign up for the webinar. Just hit the sign up button, and then it asks you for your first name, last name, and email, and you can enter the name to watch the replay of the training last Thursday when I talked about my online legal protection system. Rob says, going to bring a lot of business your way, including myself, solely because I firmly believe in what you do and stand for. Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate that more than you know. So if you go to, I'll show you how this works. So if you're interested in watching the webinar from last week, if that's something you want to do, you can go to hawthornelaw.net/special, or not, I'm sorry, hawthornelaw.net/training, and that'll take you to this page, which is the sign up page for the webinar that I hosted last week. And then you just click on this button. Let me just take this down. You click on this button that says sign me up. And because the webinar is already passed, you can click your name, first name, last name, and email, and you can enter the webinar room. Now, I will tell you that's going to be coming down here shortly. So if that's something you want to see, I think it's going to be available through the rest of tonight. But tomorrow, that's going to go to a waitlist page. So there's still a little bit of time you can watch it. It was about a 45, 50-minute training, and then I went into a sales presentation for the online business legal toolkit that I'm talking to you about tonight. If you know you want to sign up, feel free to sign up. Obviously, like I said, we would love to have you. So with that being said, we're going on almost 2 hours here. I think I've answered most of my questions. I'm going to keep watching, taking little bits of info to put in my toolbox. You do that. Good deal. Thank you. Have a good night. So I am going to hop off now. We'd love to see you in the toolkit. Thank you so much for being with me and bearing with me through some of my live stream fumbling over my words moments. I appreciate it. We will see you on the next live stream. Thanks so much, folks. Have a good night.